So today we will continue with the second part of concept of superconductivity. So in this lecture we'll discuss the existence of zero resistance and response of magnetic field. As we all know that phenomena of superconductivity was first observed by Professor H.K. Onnes in 1911. So first we'll discuss the existence of zero resistance, which is important feature of superconductivity and observed by Professor H.K. Onnes when he was doing his research. When he was observing electrical resistance of mercury, then he found that when temperature is lowered, the electrical resistance is decreased. And here you can see from this graph that decrease of resistance is linear down to a temperature equal to 1/3 of theta d. Theta d is the characteristic of divide temperature of a material. Below this, the resistance decreases less rapidly as the temperature falls. And here we see that R decreases up to 4.15 K for mercury and then sharply disappeared. So the temperature at which R is 0 is called the critical or transition temperature. And we have already seen in the previous lecture that Tc is found to be different for different materials. And actually Tc is not very sensitive to small impurities, but magnetic impurities tend to affect the temperature. For example, iridium and molybdenum have very low transition temperature in pure state. If small magnetic impurities are added to them, then superconductivity destroys by the presence of minute quantities of magnetic impurities. Since R is equal to 0 in superconducting state, so persistent current flows without any attenuation, as we know that attenuation or dissipation of energy is due to resistance only. So once an electric current has been induced into a loop of superconducting wire, it can continue to flow without decay for several weeks. Therefore, it can be used for electrical storage devices. That means material can be used for electrical storage devices. Or in other words, we can say that superconductors are used to fabricate powerful devices which consume little amount of electrical energy, because materials with R is equal to 0 means negligible heat losses. Then sources of superconductivity. As phenomena of superconductivity is not a common feature to all substances. So in 1957, scientist B. Matthews proposed some empirical rules. One can discover a number of new superconductors on the basis of these empirical rules. And according to these empirical rules, phenomena of superconductivity occurs in metallic elements which lie in the inner column of periodic table, having valence electrons between 2 and 8. Now this graph shows the variation of critical transition temperature with the number of valence electrons, and here we see that valence electrons with even number have low Tc, and valence metals having odd number of valence electrons have higher Tc. So next empirical rule was metals having odd number of valence electrons have higher Tc. Therefore, they are favorable to exhibit superconducting state. Also, materials having high resistance in normal state, they exhibit superconductivity. And the next rule is materials with product of number of valence electrons and resistivity in electrostatic unit at 20 degrees centigrade. If this product is greater than 10 to the power 6, then materials show superconductivity. Apart from this, amorphous thin films of beryllium, bismuth, iron show superconducting properties. Bismuth, antimony, tellurium become superconductor under high pressure. Monovalent metals are generally not superconductors. Ferromagnetic and antiferromagnetic materials are also not superconductors. Good conductors at room temperature are also not superconductors. So these empirical rules help to discover new superconductors. Then response of magnetic field. Same as temperature, there is a critical magnetic field below which phenomena of superconductivity exists and above which superconductivity destroys. So removal of superconducting state does not occur only by raising the temperature but also by subjecting the material to the magnetic field. So that means there should be certain range of temperature and magnetic field below which superconducting properties exist and above which superconducting properties destroys. Thus, the critical value of magnetic field above which superconductivity disappears is given by HCT. So, material will be in superconducting state only if T is less than Tc and H is less than Hc. So Hc is a function of temperature and its variation with temperature is represented by a parabolic equation. Hct is equal to Hc naught 1 minus T upon Tc whole square. So here this graph shows the variation of few materials, variation of temperature with magnetic field. Here we see that for mercury, Hc naught is the maximum critical magnetic field at absolute zero. Hct is the critical magnetic field at T. At T is equal to Tc, Hct C becomes 0. So Hc naught and Tc are constant and characteristic of the material. In case of mercury, this is the value of Hc naught and this is value of Tc. For example, for vanadium, this will be the value of Hc naught at absolute 0 and this will be Tc. So Hc naught and Tc are constant for a particular material. Ceramic superconductors usually have a smaller critical magnetic field than metallic superconductors. So by moderate magnetic field, ceramic materials may lose their superconducting properties. So now question arises, critical magnetic field which destroys superconductivity should be external? No, it could be internal also. So Hc which destroys superconductivity need not to be an external magnetic field. It could be specimen's own magnetic field. For example, current flowing the superconducting wire has its own magnetic field, and if I is equal to 2 pi RH, as I increases, H also increases. As I approaches to IC, H approaches to HC. If I is greater than IC, then H would be greater than HC. So thus there should be maximum current that can be passed in a sample without destroying its superconducting properties. Therefore, the critical current IC may be defined as the maximum current that can be passed in a superconducting wire or sample without destroying its superconducting properties. So we can say that Hc which destroys superconductivity may be specimen's own magnetic field. So destruction of superconductivity due to its own magnetic field, it causes main hurdle in producing high field superconducting magnets. So now it is clear that critical magnetic field which could destroy the properties of superconducting material or superconducting properties, it is not necessary that it should be external, it may be internal also.